What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Excuse the allergies, happens to me same time every year, kind of got to deal with it. So anyway, I thought it's been a long time since I've made a custom part, and it's about time because I've run into my next little thing that I want to improve. On these trucks, as you know, they have these steering couplers that Nissan likes to call them. I like to call them sloppy boys. And they're designed to add kind of a cushion to the driver from the road. So energy translates into the wheel, goes into the knuckle, goes into the drag link, gets into the gearbox and transfers up to the driver. And this little guy is just a buffer in between that. But we don't care about that because race truck, we want to feel everything on the road. And you know, all the cool kids are making stuff out of 6061, so let's do it too. All right, so here we have a little bit of a blown up view of the full assembly. This is pretty dirty, I know, don't worry. It's gonna get all cleaned up and recoated before it makes its way back onto the truck. But this goes to the steering column, this goes to the gearbox. We have the coupler in question that sandwiches in between the two. We have this little bridge plate here that acts as a support and keeps the nut and bolt from tearing through the backside of this rubber coupler in the event enough force was applied. Then we have our hardware over here. Nissan likes to manually deform the ends of them to prevent a liability issue so that the nuts will never back off of them. And you have a stover or prevailing torque nut on the ends. These have a mildly deformed crown on them that helps them better grip the threads and prevent them from loosening off there. So that's the whole setup right there. Now let's move on to the design of getting this bad boy made. Once the little light bulb went off in my head, I grabbed my idea book, that came down, sketched everything up according to the dimensions that I acquired. Then I went back upstairs, opened up my laptop, hopped on CAD, made a quick rendering of the part, saved it as a .step file, and moved on to the next step. Next up, I went ahead and sent the file to one of my dearest old friends, Kyle LeBlanc. He's actually one of my best friends when I was stationed out in Vegas, and he just so happens to be part owner in a company called Silly Rabbit Motorsports. Guess what they have? CNC capability. So he agreed to prototype the part for me. I sent him the file. He was able to get all the toolpath stuff configured into his system and cut the part out for me, lickety split, sent it back to me. Worked perfect. Right on the first try. It was super neat. So Kyle, if you're watching this, big thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. You pulled through, homie. And there you have it. Went ahead and got the steering linkage recoated, hardware cleaned up, looking fresh. We no longer got a sloppy boy. Instead, we got a rigid fella. So this is the Billet 6061 coupling. Let's go get this thing installed on the truck. Well, I may be a tad bit biased, but I think everything turned out awesome. I actually don't even need a clearance in between here. There's a few millimeters of space between the steering linkage and the shock tower. And this turned out awesome. It's super snug. The length is perfect, no rotation issues. Could I have done this with just a piece of steel, drilled some holes, you know, cut out a circle and made the same thing? Yeah, probably, but where's the fun in that? I got to be a little bit creative in this process and reach out to some old friends. So really happy with this. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.